Other for way another breaking news and Mr. Sunina Bremu or Ghana Timwamun say, and chill beyond IMF company for Belande or Ghana as Siano. This is the 5th review. I Sika NPP for any IMF for Omokisha. IMF for my part at Sianaka part on the mine. This is the 5th reviewer. IMF company for about PM or Ghana as here. Omode Sanji Shani Yaba Bay, for Enche IMF for on message with your mind Ghana as I'm back to the Bio Fee, Mamuni, for when the Enche Shekasia, Koso. IMF na bebre na kase IMF na we sure say IMF yema Ghana for now because this is the time I was say Ghana yanka say to me really yanka say revenue need to be solving yanka say problems bebre na kase IMF no ehun ni mfaso order for IMF mpanyifo 5th review na nhihye ni nyina ba betodwa menso mensa ka ni nyina mede ni nyina bre e Ghana choro fuma enko Niankoti IMF penny nankasa in Sema waba bonti wabetudwa concern IMF 5th review no niamba this year Ghanatube so.
Now, as Ghana's $3 billion extended credit facility with the International Monetary Fund draws closer to completion, IMF officials remain in Accra for the 5th review, now in its 2nd week, expected to end by October 10th. If the review ends successfully, Ghana will receive an additional $360 million, bringing total disbursements to $2.6 billion since the program began in 2023. Now, this round of discussions focuses on how the support has been used to stabilize the economy, reduce public debt, and drive reforms in energy, revenue mobilization, and social protection. It also reviews the performance of Ghana's Gold Board and assesses how the current administration has managed the broader economy. Now let's hear from the Managing Director of the IMF ahead of this review.
Back to say that on July 7th, the IMF's executive board completed the 4th review of Ghana's program with the fund. Ghana received about $367 million at that time, and total support under the program reached $2.3 billion since May 2023. As you alluded to, we do currently have a team on the ground in Accra for the 5th review under the program. The team is holding discussions with the authorities and other stakeholders. Obviously, the team is going to be assessing progress made, continued progress made under the program, and they will. The mission will conclude on October.
Today on By the Numbers, we take a closer look at the program's performance as it approaches its final phase, where the money has gone, what impact it's made, and what the next stage means for Ghana's economic recovery. Mauna will do just that. Mauna, what are we learning?
Right, and so we're getting into the dying embers of this extended credit facility as we receive from the International Monetary Fund. At that point in time, it was the only solution for the country, considering, if you want to remember, 2022 and the difficulties which the entire country experienced as well. And so this is what we know. It was a $3 billion extended credit facility expected to end next year, 2026. It started in May 2023, and it was a 3-year program. Total amount has disbursed $2.3 billion. We're expecting to receive the all clear to get the next tranche. It will be the 5th tranche to come in, and then that will raise it to some $2.6 billion. The core conditions upon which we went there and were receiving this extended credit facility support: fiscal discipline. We're expecting, amongst many other things, to cap our deficit at 5%, under 5% of GDP for the year 2025. In terms of revenue, we're expecting to raise tax to GDP to about 18% by the year 2026. We'll find out whether or not we're on course for that. And then monetary control as well. The BOG was to halt direct budget financing. And if you want to get into a bit of the histories as to why we're seeing this, remember that cost in terms of losses that the BOG incurred, some 50 billion cedis losses at the time. One of the many things which resulted in those losses was the extended support the BOG had to give to the government in funding the budget. And as a result of that, the back and forth resulted when the haircuts came around, it resulted in significant losses for the central bank as well. And so that became a significant aspect of the conversations when we went before the IMF. And then a reform of our state-owned enterprises, because they have been on a downward trajectory for quite a while. It's reason why when the president, and I mean the current president, was sworn in, of the many things he did first was to meet all the heads of the respective SOEs for a meeting and give clear timelines or clear instructions that they either return to profitability or they shut down, or a number of the companies as well are merged. And so this is why, or the enterprises rather, are merged. And so this is why as well we're seeing that play out in terms of the expectations from the IMF for us. But what has been the economic indicators from when we joined or before we joined, and what the current state is now? Because the questions need to be answered as to whether or not we are on track in terms of what it is that we went to the IMF to do, and whether or not we've seen improvement as a result of going under this ECF program. And so we'll start off with GDP growth. And 2023, pre-ECF, the growth of the economy, 3.1%. Currently under the program, 5.7%. I think the finance minister had underestimated that, but we are appearing to be on course to be hitting this target or going above it. Inflation stood at around 54.1% at the last time of check, as was announced by the statistical service. We're at 9.4%. Public debt to GDP ratio at the time before we had to enter into debt renegotiation, amongst many other things. This is where we stood at. Now, per the numbers, we're at 44%. Exchange rate as well, and these are BOG specific numbers, 14.1 in terms of the exchange rate. We're at 14.1, currently 12.5. Fiscal deficit percentage of GDP as well, we're at 9.2%, but we're at 5.1% now. And our reserves have moved from 2.3 months to 4 months. That's the import cover we have as well as a country. And so these are what we're comparing the program, our performance before and currently as we are under the program. But this review, this fifth review by the IMF, there are a number of things that they are looking out for in terms of the conversations with our team. And the first is revenue reforms. Remember, the finance minister has, amongst many other things, mentioned that there will be reform of our VAT system. That should be a part of the conversation. In fact, it is one of the many things we can look forward to in terms of the removal of the COVID-19 levy, because you remember the finance minister had mentioned that there will be a reform of the VAT, and that will take care as well of the COVID levy. And so that is expected to be a part of the conversations. Then the debt of the state-owned enterprises, they'll have a conversation as well about the path upon which our inflation is. And then energy sector debts, that continues to be a significant aspect of our debt and continues to be a cause of concern for every government, because every now and then we keep reminded by both the World Bank, the IMF, that has a potential to as well cripple the entirety of the Ghanaian economy. And the expected disbursement outcome, $360 million upon approval. That's what we have in terms of the latest from where we were before, what the situation is now, and then as well what we're looking out for in terms of the latest review as well.
So it looks like it's working. It's working.
Yes, I mean it works.
Somewhere in the middle.
That's why some say we should stay on 1 extra year so we can cement all of the good work that we're doing, because it's described as a big brother looking above your shoulders and ensuring that you're doing everything right. And so some are asking that if possible it be extended, but the government says they're not going to.
But the sustenance post that is also important. We'll keep an eye on that.
Very important.
Mawana with by the numbers. Let's bring you regional hub now.
Other four when breaking news I be told you from IMF. Just say IMF for fit review no details in the media bro. Other four when she share NPP are buying or money IMF for call here to see an NDC for air to see how many occasions IMF for penny for our Ghana has here omode sanji shewe nyina fit review sene be ya sika na aka no IMF betumi dia magana fo na Bank of Ghana finance minister no obetumi e dia build the economy do fo bebre na e complain say sia no dollar no e cost as against the cedi inti sia no Ghana enya sa sika no na chese itumi dia build the economy na bibia koyie kama do odofo we ene ye nsema ayedeja o Ghana ha se obi aka ho asema amafo bebre na aka se IMF ntishe we no ehun hia anase ehun hia because bebre na aka se Ghana isi anu bia yedu no e say yanka se etumi pe yanka se sika yetumi build the economy by ourselves ehun hia se etumi ko ne ekodi sika efi baby odofo enti IMF ntishe we no ye bompa se we beye IMF ntishe ebetwa to se na beye going forward no Ghana for yanka se betumi raise yanka se revenue na chesi asolve yanka se problems odofo we any breaking news abeto dua am so begini nyina bre Ghanatube mo refi se wo be like no subscribe no share no hit notification bell so am say be ya abibia do pick content say awu wonya ne tempa no watch no item odofo aha e na be dia me fi nsem nyina be si Ghanatube so makra mu nyina me da mu nyina se bebre